everyone. Welcome back to Tapping into the Energy of Life. And today's inspiring conversation is energetic hygiene. We're all fixated on our physical hygiene sometimes, but this is even more important, your energetic hygiene. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about different levels, different ideas, and possibly ways to bring yours up, things that work for us. Well, Maria was talking about all these wonderful trips that she takes people on, these spiritual enlightenment trips, and she facilitates with two other leaders. And she was talking about how all of the people learn so much, but the facilitators also learn a ton of things and grow and, everything. And I said, well, that's the same with the three of us. Us doing these podcasts have been so enlightening. And I have learned so many things and gotten a deeper understanding, I think, of so many things as well. Like you think you know something and you have some bit of wisdom, but then, and especially Maria likes to drill down, and peel off more layers.
Yeah.
So I think, I think it's wonderful that it has, and that's why we keep doing this because it's so enlightening. One of the topics we're going to talk about today, energetic hygiene. I found some really cool stuff on that.
Oh, really?
That I'm looking forward to sharing. Yeah.
Cool. Excited. So tell us, what did you find out?
Well, there's this place called the Energy Leadership Index, and they talk about there are seven layers of energy. And you know how we always talk about the deep, dark thoughts and then the higher level thoughts? I'm going to see if I can summarize this real quick for you. So, level one energy is the level of victimhood. So, there are the people who, don't believe in themselves, they fall into depression. Level two is energy in still a negative way, but it's more anger. People are angry at, things never go my way, blah, blah, blah. And so those are the dark ones. And then level three and upward are higher energy, lighter levels. Three sees that you're inward focused and taking care of other people as well. Level four is a level of compassion. This is like a nurse who's always, helping others out. Level five is a win-win, that, you want the best for you and you want the best for, someone else. And then I love level six. And there's a huge drop apparently in the number of people resonating here. But it's the level of intuition. These are the visionaries who see the world as one big experience. And, that's what we talk about so much, the interconnectedness of everything and everything that touches us and we touch others. It's a huge collective consciousness, which I love. And then level seven is the level of creation, where there's genius thinking and brilliant ideas. And, I think that's like, Eckhart Tolle. I think he's like a level seven. When you listen to him talk, because it's like, stand back and watch yourself think, and all of that. So the summary of this was: one, I lose energy. Level two, you lose because I'm angry at you. Three is I win. Four is you win. Five is we win. And six is everybody wins. And seven, there's no such thing as winning or losing.
True. Yes.
So I came across that and I thought, I've never seen it laid out like that, the different levels of energy. And I thought it was brilliant. So I wanted to share that. And again, this is Lee Cambray and the energy leadership. I want to give credit to that because that was awesome that I learned that.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
It reminded me of Dr. David Hawkins, David Hawkins.
Yeah.
He's got a chart where he qualified certain frequencies with certain emotions. So he started with shame, guilt, going up to courage, and then from courage it changes to neutrality, and then acceptance, love, compassion, peace, and enlightenment. So it's kind of the same thing, but it's got like it's a wider range. It's not just 7. I think there may be, I don't know, 10, 15 more or less. And there's a very interesting thing that, talking about this, he says that it's courage is the breaking point. It's like it's like you start in very low frequencies and you start gaining power, gaining energy, gaining in the ability to move forward. So when you're a victim or when you are guilty and feeling shameful, it's like you're in a very low vibration. You have not energy to actually do things. You feel low and your energy is low and you don't act on things so fast and easily because things take so long. So it's really like an energy level. So the breaking point is courage, is when you see something that you're afraid of or you feel guilty about, or and also there's a breakthrough and you want to go through it and you want to go farther from that point, and that takes courage to break that veil, and that's a breakthrough level. So I really like that one. And then there's another one which is love. So it's like, as you were saying, I win, you win, whoever, and there's a point in which is I have enough so I can give, and that's like love. And it's the second like barrier that we have to go through to get higher and higher. So it's very interesting that you have actually pointed out that those levels of consciousness is actually energetically you feel it. I mean, you actually feel like you have the ability to move, to do things, to go forward, or you don't. And for me, there are a few things that are very important, like basically 3 things that are very important. So one of them is this idea that something external can harm me, like somebody can, there are these toxic relationships, toxic people out there. They are the toxic ones. And that, like, or somebody can, I don't know, harm me energetically, or, there are many ways to call this, to curse you, to send you bad vibes, or however you want to call it. So it's like,
Yeah, what were those dolls they used to do where they
No.
pins in
exactly,
it? What
the
is that
Voodoo?
called?
Voodoo
voodoo.
dolls?
Voodoo,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like that, it's their thing and it's their fault and they're doing this to me. And so the first thing for energetic hygiene is take responsibility. Is they can try and do all those things, but you are the one who opens your energy field to those things. Feeling low vibration, low energy, low frequencies, you feel fear, you feel anger, you feel guilt, you feel whatever kind of feeling that matches their frequency, and so you open the door for that to enter. So if you feel high and you're like in a high vibration, your energy field is completely impermeable. It's completely blind to that. So it doesn't even exist for it. So it wouldn't affect you. So the first thing
That
is
was like, remember we talked about having the bubble,
exactly.
putting that bubble around you, so you've got that bubble
Protect
around,
you.
so nobody
Exactly.
can penetrate it.
No,
They
it's like
say
it
faith.
doesn't.
They say faith is one such bubble which keeps you strong. If you have strong faith in something, um, I guess that's the one that protects you and keeps you strong. I guess that's because if you have faith in something, your energy levels are high. But like you explained just now, Maria, if you are fearful, doubtful, then your energy levels are low. And that's when you're saying you're allowing yourself and you're opening up for other energies to attack. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, but I would also like to add something because I am from a Catholic country, and many people here say that they have faith in God, but then they don't act like it. They don't really have it. They say it, but they don't live that way, and that's a huge difference. I mean, there's so many people here like my family's friends, and friends of friends and people that say, aren't you scared of traveling so much and going abroad and doing all these things that you do? And he's like, well, I trust God. And they say, well, that has nothing to do with it. It's like, it does.
It does, yeah.
It's
It's
like
called faith.
yeah, it's like you say you are a believer, you go to church, you ask God for things, but then you don't feel that he protects you or he loves you, so you don't trust the universe. You think you're scared of having any experience out of the box. It's like that's not coherent. If you really believe and feel that there's a consciousness, something greater than you that loves you and that has something to do with you, and it's a good relationship with it, and it's a loving relationship, why would you be scared? I mean, you're scared because you don't know it. You think it, but you don't have the experience of
I
it.
don't believe.
And
Yeah.
and that's a massive change, because in these Catholic countries that I know about, at least in Europe and South America, that's a huge difference. Like you can have a very low vibration saying that you have faith, but you don't really feel it. So the experience of faith itself is so important, because when you really feel love and you feel loved and you feel held and taken care of, and that there's a bigger consciousness and that you trust it, that's faith actually, then your energy is high because you're loving, being accepted, having acceptance of what comes. You're not scared, you're open. So that's a high frequency. So having faith, it's really feeling the faith, not just saying that you have it.
Yeah.
And going to church and praying because, God has to protect you from many other dangers that he, who is supposedly all empowered, has also created to harm you. So it's a kind of psychopath or something strange. It's like, I've created you, I love you, but then I've created also all those things that are there to harm you, and I leave you to it. It's like, that's not the God I believe in, that's not the experience that I have. And it's kind of a crazy belief, those kind of ideas. So yeah. So first energetic, for me, tip to keep your energetic hygiene high is take responsibility of your own feelings and your own beliefs and thoughts, and work on it, like have a self-development training, or go to therapy, or do self-work, or journal, or whatever you do to get to know you better. So that's the first thing.
Interesting.
Then I have two more things that I've like sharing with people. I'm a quantum tarot reader, and I'm a therapist, so I talk to many people. And one of the things people come and say is that they don't feel safe in themselves, basically. So if you really take responsibility, the second thing is to feel grounded and held by something. You call it faith, but it can be even just grounding physically. So connecting to the ground, to the earth, realizing that you are being nurtured and held by the planets. So something like that, so physical, but also metaphysical. You can believe in God holding you or embracing you, but it's something that is really felt. It's not a thought. It's something that you can feel, and just feel your body held by the earth, or how the chair holds you. So be grounded, connect to the ground and the earth, ground yourself. That's a very important place. Where am I? What's going on? Come back to the present, be grounded. So that's the second. So the first is, if it's happening, I have something to do with it. And the second is, I am grounded, I'm held, I'm here, I'm present. It's not something from the past or the future, it's something that it's here. And then the third one, that it's also related to faith in a way, is ask for help. And we have talked about this in many of our podcasts. I remember addiction, but in many of them, it's like, if you're going through something that you really feel that is lowering your frequency and you don't know what to do, there's a part of your consciousness that actually knows. There's a part of you. You have the information of all your ancestors that have gone through so many things. It's just that it's not, you're not aware, it's not active in you. But if you need it, you open the window, you just ask for help, ask God for help, ask life for help, ask a friend for help, ask for help. And that will raise your frequency, because when you receive that help, it's gonna enhance you. It's gonna help you out.
Right. It's going to open
And
your mind.
open your mind. And there's something that for me has been an amazing experience, that it's in those dark nights of the soul that you go through things and you feel despair and you are like not understanding and suffering, and you're there sobbing and crying at night. And it's like, I need help. And then you don't know what happens, but the following morning you wake up and you feel much better. And it's like, you just need to ask for help. You just need to give yourself a break, have a rest, stop struggling and going in and saying, I need something. I need to ask for it, because it's not just you here. I mean, you can ask for it. There are many other people, but also many other levels of consciousness, and you're a multidimensional being, and you may receive a lot of information just by dreaming or ideas, droppings, just resting, feeling energized. So there are many ways to ask for help and to be open to receive. So I think those are the three main tips. So really taking responsibility, grounding yourself, and asking for help.
I think one of the things that I do, and I would encourage anyone to do, is when you're really feeling low, is sometimes I'll just go outside of the boat and do like a 10-minute qigong routine if I'm really stressed out, or a 20-minute one. Or at the end of the day, if I've had a stressful day, do one for a nighttime. Um, and also Tai Chi. I've never done Tai Chi, but I've recently gotten interested in it. And so I did a routine that my sister's doing. I told her she's got some medical issues, and I did it and I loved it. I was like, because he's like talking about moving water, and it was so soothing to the soul. And I think those kinds of things, talking about, hygiene and trying to bring yourself up, when we're in those kind of awful states of mind, doing something like that is just brings a little bit more clarity, a little bit of soothing to your soul. And then that hopefully is a bridge to get away from the lower levels that we might be in at the time, and raise our energy up. So if you've never done any of those, it's really cool. And you can do it for like 10 minutes. It's not like it's a huge commitment, right? But it really is a great energy shift.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about if I try avoiding horror movies, and I don't look at murder mysteries? That's also kind of protecting my energy, right? Because I don't want that kind of energy into me. Because you say what you put inside, it will have some consequence somewhere. So for
It
my
grows.
yeah, so for my energy hygiene, I don't look at horror movies. I try to avoid watching the news. One of the things,
I do too.
avoid negative as much as I can, negative energy. Yeah, to maintain.
Yeah, that's one thing. My whole life, my mom always used to yell at me because I tell people, I was like, I have my head in the sand a lot when it comes to news and paying attention to all the drama. And as you know, in the States right now, there is so much freaking drama. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And Thomas listens to a lot of it, so I get some of it on the side. But it's like my attitude has always been, in the long run, I don't think it's going to really affect my situation that much. Now, if I was an immigrant paying my taxes, and there's a whole issue right now going on with that they're going to go to the IRS and get all these immigrants' addresses, and they want to deport millions of people. And it's like, why? We need them. Um, but anyway, so my point was, I totally agree with you, Palak, that you don't I don't know. I don't subscribe to listening to all the negative things that are out there. There is so much, especially in America right now. It's really concerning. So, I just like to stay in my little la la land.
Our own
And
little bubble, right? We
Yeah.
need to be
I think
creating our own
yeah,
little bubble.
I think it's very interesting to realize how you feel when you listen to those things, because people just don't realize. It's like TV or whatever kind of induces us into a hypnotic state, and it's like we disconnect from our own bodies. And it's like when you're feeling and hearing, when you're hearing all those things or watching the news or hearing an argument or some people complaining all the time, somebody close to you that is complaining all the time, you can feel that. I mean, you feel it in your body. You notice things. You start to feel your stomach closing down. You start to feel your weight in your shoulders. You start to feel a headache or sadness or toughness in the lungs or a weight in your chest, or you start to feel things. And
True.
it's like that doesn't come from any place there. It's about that conversation, that information, that thing that you're going through and that your body is experiencing. So it's like, be aware of what's happening to you. So sometimes we say things like, well, you shouldn't hear the news, but it's like, what happens when you hear the news? How do you feel? I remember when I quitted smoking, it was precisely that. It's like, I'm going to smoke consciously. I'm going to feel, because I just smoked and I smoked, and I was 24. So I smoked for 4 years. And then one day I thought, why am I smoking? It's like, it's just a habit. So it's not important because I don't really feel it, and it's not so harmful. But when you pay attention to how you feel, then you realize how harmful it is for you. So it's like you start feeling in this case it was smoking, but with the news or with whatever, it's not, I'm just going to follow the information. No, just see how you feel. Sit down and put the news and start to see how you're feeling. And then you will feel your body collapsing. And it's like, well, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? It's not like you're not part of the world and you don't want to know what's going on. It's just that information is not the truth. It's just a version of it. It's an interpretation of it, and it's aimed with
that
an
is so true.
intention. Because also, for example, I know people that say, "Oh, this is the world is like this," and it's like, have you gone out to the street and have your own experience of the world? Because I, like in my life, that doesn't happen. I mean, it's not real for me. It's not an experience that I've got going out and all these dangers, like burglars are all over, they're being hijacking people and killing people, and then you go out and there's nothing. And that happened to me in Mexico once, um, so many years ago, when there was this first kind of attempt of pandemic. It was the flu, the pig flu or something of the sort many years ago. And on the TV, they were putting all these news about people dying, people so sick. So everyone from Spain was calling me because I was there in Mexico. And people from Spain were calling me like, get out of there. I mean, you're going to die. They're going to close the borders. Come on, get out of there. And I was walking down the streets and I couldn't see anything of that happening. And I was living beside a hospital by that time. There were no queues of dying people, nothing at all. It was all. And then after a couple of days or a few days, then they closed the city down. There were no cars. But what I could experience was that there was no traffic, no cars, and they closed everything. But I didn't see people dying in the streets and all those things that they were saying on the TV. It was like, that's not the experience I've had. So it's like, go out and have the experience yourself instead of feeling and increasing with your attention and your energy field those intentions or those energy fields that are being proposed to you, because maybe it's not true, maybe it's not uh, your own experience of things. And in Mexico, you have a lot of that. It's like it's a very
That's one
big,
thing I think that's so.
yeah.
I was just going to say that's one thing I think that is so bad today in today's world about social media. Social media is just so, I don't know, in my mind, it's a monster all of its own as far as, the news comes out, and back when we were kids, they would present the news and it was just the facts. And now it's so biased and you have no idea what is right and what is wrong. I mean, I have my own thoughts and ideas, um, but depending upon what you listen to, it just molds, your thoughts and everything. And it's very sad and discouraging, I think. I'm really proud of my daughter. She's pregnant due soon, in about 3 or 4 weeks. And she's like, my child is not being put on any social media until she's old enough to decide if she wants it. Like I can't post anything, any pictures about my grandchild. Um, and you know what? I totally respect that. And I know of several moms nowadays that are not allowing their children on social media, until they're much older. And I think that's
Is
great.
the Carol, you were talking about how to know how to choose the information from the social media or news or whatever. And I think that this precise topic is very useful for this, because when you center and when you ground yourself and you take responsibility for what's coming towards you, and if you want it or not, if you feel it or not, because it's not like I don't want this, but I'm feeling it. Because if you're feeling it, the door is open. You have the door wide open for that. So I'm feeling it. I need to work on myself to close that door. It's not like, oh, I don't want to know anything about it, so I fake it like it's not happening. That doesn't help. Like if you
Yeah,
didn't have the
no.
door open, you wouldn't feel anything. It would be neutral. It would be like you wouldn't even see it, watch it, pay attention to it. So one of the things that really makes us realize what information is true for us is what we feel. So it's not really if this is true or not. It's the I think the reference point now is going to be, do I feel it? I mean, is it true for me? Do I feel like it's something that I feel in my body that it enhances me? So that's for me the key point, to have some discernment in all this chaotic information that we're going through. Because now in social media, you can find, as you were saying, or in anywhere, like on news, and you have alternative press and so many things that you can find out there. And it's like, what is the truth? Like if there was a truth somewhere out there. And really what for me, or the idea about this energetic hygiene, is what is true for you. So if you feel it is true for you, are you worried about it? It's true for you. Are you scared of it? It's true for you. You really believe that there's that threat somewhere. So it's true for you. You are resonating with it. So if not, you wouldn't do anything about it, or you would ask for help. Because I remember when I was with the COVID thing at the beginning, I was not scared about COVID. I was not scared of the virus. I was scared of my liberties taken from me. I was scared of being caged. I was scared of being controlled. That was my fear. I didn't fear the virus at all. It was not in my mind. It was like, that's not the point. And that's the thing. That was not the truth for me. It's not the virus. But the other thing was amazingly true for me. That other threat, like there's an external will that will imprison me, and that I believed was true. So I started asking for help. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I want to keep traveling. I want to keep doing what my soul feels like doing. And I don't want to be controlled and demanded to go through exams or have a passport or all those crazy things. But I don't know how to. I don't know how to. So I prayed that evening. I was feeling so angry and frustrated. And then I prayed. So I said, you do it. Because if you want me to go, yeah, you God, like whatever. If you want me to do what I feel like I want to do, like my soul wants to do, then you make it. You allow me, you take me to those places. And that evening, I felt sick. And I thought it was a flu, but it wasn't. I had COVID. And I realized like 4 days later when I did one of those tests.
Those things
Yeah, those things that they put
up your nose.
Yeah. So I had to do it because I wanted to go to a writing lesson, to a workshop that I was taking, and it went positive. And I stayed at home for a week, and then I got my green pass. It's like now you have 6 months where you can travel wherever because you have the anti whatever they call it. You have
Antibodies.
Antibiotics.
yeah. So it's like,
Antibodies.
now you can travel. And he was like, I'm so amazed.
Oh my
So
God.
when you ask for help, the universe
It
starts to
arrived.
Yeah, when you ask for
She
so
got
if you
it.
don't know how
super
to
cool.
raise your frequency, so that's for me, like energetic hygiene is like realizing that there's no will that will take my own will away from me if I'm connected to my soul. So if I need something, I just need to ask for it. And so that really released a lot of fear in me because it's like, it's a proof that I have something bigger than myself and my awareness, my level of consciousness, my intellect that is controlling, like taking control, like taking care of me, doing whatever I need to have, whatever I feel like I need to do. So it was like, I can relax. And that was amazing. I mean, that changed a lot of things in my life because it's like, it was a really scary moment for me. Like, I really believe this danger exists. And it's like, I need to prove to myself that if I believe in something greater, this will vanish. But I need to go towards it. I need the courage to face it. And then it just proved that I could think about that thing differently. And that was an amazing change. So that's, I think, a closure also of our subject, because we started talking about the win-win, that you win, I lose, and all those levels. And it's like, there's no winning and losing in here. It's like, there's just going towards what I feel like doing. And that's in a bigger scheme of things, that's what has to happen. And I trust it. And so I just wanted to add that. So
Malak, do you have any words of wisdom of things that you do for your energetic hygiene?
Oh, it's the same things that we've repeated earlier as well in our earlier podcast that I just try and keep my energy light, happy, clean. I don't like it when it goes low. I immediately start working on it to bring it higher in a happier space if I can. Do you remember we discussed this in one of our podcasts that you go out for a walk in nature and don't worry about it too much. If something needs action, do it and then push it aside, move on and start, putting your focus into something else, because like we keep saying, where the focus goes, energy flows. So going in nature, going for a walk, putting music, dancing, writing, what else? Art,
Oh, I know, laughter. One of yours is laughter.
yes,
you're
I
very
love
good at that.
laughter too.
Watch something funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and then being with your loved ones, people who make you happy and just lift you up. And listening to lifting things, that's what I do. But I stay clearly away from horror. I stay away from dark energies and murder mysteries and those gruesome stuff. No, 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 no. Stay away. Don't want to bring it into my reality. Yeah, I know it exists
I know. I'm the same.
there, I know. And when it comes to supporting, for example, support or things are not happening, and if you need to speak up, yeah, you do speak up. But otherwise, yeah, just focus on what is for me right now. What is? Just focus on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very important to focus on what is.
Right?
So
So
if you enjoyed our podcast today, we hope that you will leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you, and please like and that's not my job. That's Palak's job. Take it away.
If you liked our podcast today, like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.